你知道吗？纽约核心艺术区切尔西坐拥着400多家画廊，每年举办的展览数以万计。但绝大多数人并不了解的是，在那些顶级画廊的展厅门后，还有另一番天地。这个神秘的空间就是仅对上层人士和实力买家开放的私人展厅。这里的观展体验十分私密，常常由画廊高层亲自陪伴，针对买家的需求，从全球各地调货，集中展示。那些博物馆级的蓝筹稀缺品和一画难求的新生代作品都隐藏在这里。今天就带你走进纽约泰勒画廊的私人展厅，对话画廊合伙人 Chloe Waddington 女士，揭秘极具美学与投资价值的艺术精品。
Hi Chloe, so nice to see you.
So nice to see you as well, Karine.
I'm so happy to be here in this beautifully curated private viewing room. Can you give us a brief introduction about yourself and the gallery?
Of course. So my name is Chloe Waddington. I am the partner of Timothy Taylor Gallery in New York. Timothy Taylor Gallery has been in existence in London since 1996 and in New York since 2015. And we're really excited to be able to share one of our artists who's worked with us for many, many years with you today, Armen Eloyan.
Can you tell us more about this artist and this new body of work?
Absolutely. So Armen Eloyan is an Armenian artist who lives and works in Zurich, Switzerland. He actually studied at the Rijksacademy in Amsterdam. The source of a lot of his work actually comes from a time when he worked in an animation studio from when he was 18 for many years. And that animation studio led him to sort of investigate cartoon-like figures, anthropomorphic figures, and he references a lot of those figures in his work, and that's sort of what he's known for. This most recent series of work, the colored big paintings, is actually a kind of a departure for him. He hasn't really worked in abstraction before. And this was a result of the pandemic and Armen being sort of stuck in his studio in Zurich and investigating what it would be like for him to work with color in this sort of big gestural way. And so, as you can tell, these are extremely gestural paintings. Armen is very interested in color and how color can have both sort of a playful effect but also a very formal effect. And so this series of paintings, he's done these sort of more pointillist, sort of impressionistic style abstract paintings, but also some really specific color field paintings, which he frames and I think you've seen these with one specific color and then a sort of swath of gestural color. These specific paintings, this is called Colored Big number 5, are executed in 2 panels and they're very large, as you can see. Armen likes to lay these canvases on the ground and sort of work on them in bursts of activity. So he will sort of get into a frenzy and it's very gestural. He moves around the canvas and you can see that in the way that the paint is applied here. So it's got this lovely, lovely sky blue ground. And then he's sort of layered these pinks and purples. He'll wait for that burst of activity to sort of end and dry, and then he'll come back to it a day or a few days later and layer on another sort of burst of activity in color and paint. And that's how you end up with these gorgeous sort of mixtures of color, like the white and the green, the orange and the yellow, the purples and pinks, as I mentioned, and this beautiful, beautiful, thick impastoed surface.
I was going to say this painting is so richly layered and reminds me of abstract expressionist artist Joanne Mitchell's her panoramic paintings and 19th century French painter Georges Seurat's pointillist brushwork.
Exactly.
As well as Monet's most famous Water Lilies series.
Exactly. So Armen is explicitly making reference to some of those great masters. So we're looking at Seurat, we're looking at Monet, we're looking at that kind of atmospheric implication of a landscape or a feeling. And I think probably actually the most apt comparison would be to Joan Mitchell. I think you can see that in some of her ballet paintings from the 1980s. This very much has that feel, that sort of verdant, lush landscape feel that you get from some of those later Joan Mitchells.
And how do you see the current market of this artist?
So Armen has been, I will say, a relative unknown until recently. And we have actually seen some great success with his paintings in China. We showed him actually at West Bund Fair in Shanghai last year. And he actually showed these abstract paintings for the first time in a museum show in Switzerland, in Neuchâtel, just last year. And that was the first time they had ever been seen publicly. And then we were very pleased to present another exhibition of these paintings at Timothy Taylor, New York last September.
Yes, beautiful. I was there.
Yes.
And all the works are very fascinating.
They are. They're really, I think they're very moving.
Yes, absolutely. And in my view, I see not only endless beauty, but also great potential and lasting value in his works.
Absolutely. I would say a painting like this, which so explicitly references those masters, which has such a visceral response and a visceral feeling around it, is something that never really goes out of style. It's a pleasure to live with, it's a pleasure to look at, and every time you look at it, you'll see something new.
Thank you so much, Chloe. Thanks for sharing your insight.
Thank you, Kyrie, and thank you for joining us.
那我们今天的画廊私访就先到这里。如果你想了解更多的藏品信息和购藏指引，可以在视频下方找到我们的联系方式。如果你喜欢本期的视频，别忘了点赞、评论、收藏、转发。我们下期见啦！